Hi, my name is Susana Maltar-Zoric and I am a family medicine specialist and a founder of Mind Esthetic Clinic, where I combine my love for medicine and helping people with my passion for personal transformation and studying of power of human mind. I'm endlessly fascinated what human mind is capable of and how can we upgrade our potential to live the life we truly want. And at the end, we live most of the time in our mind, and my passion is to help people to make this place the most beautiful one to live in. And today I wanted to talk about habits. And why habits? Because habits are a huge part of what we really are. It's estimated that 70% of our waking behavior is habitual. By the end of this video, you are going to learn what habits are, how they function, and how you can create habits that serve you, that helps you reach your goal more effortlessly, more efficiently, how powerful tool of transformation this conscious habit creating is. And what are habits? Habits are learned behaviors that became automatic. Habits are patterns that our nervous system learns either consciously or unconsciously. And why we have tendency to do things automatically? Our brain have tendency to seek automation because it is energy efficient and it creates sense of safety. You know, brain makes up 2% of our body weight, but it consumes 20 to 25% of all energy production in the body, and this is enormous energy consumption. So brain is constantly looking for ways to optimize its work and have tendency to shift repeated action to automatic mode. So every new activity, every new thought, every new skill that you learn activates your prefrontal cortex, and the prefrontal cortex is this part of the brain just behind your forehead that is responsible for conscious planning, decision making, problem solving, and it sets us apart from other animals. And this part of our brain is huge, and it allows us to plan, to imagine future, to make conscious decisions, to make a decision to change something in our lives. But the prefrontal cortex is also most energy consuming part of the brain. So every new decision, every new thought or skill you want to learn, it causes that prefrontal cortex start consuming more glucose, more oxygen, it needs more focus, more concentration, and this is energy craving. But when some behavior repeats all the time, the prefrontal cortex have tendency to shift control to these lower centers in our brain, to basal ganglia, that are responsible for our routines and habits. So every repeated action, whether is this behavioral, like taking your phone every time when you feel uncomfortable or anxious, start your day by scrolling on your phone, drink your morning coffee, or brush your teeth, or every repeated thought, whether it is I'm not good enough, or I am capable of doing this thing, nothing ever works for me, or everything is always working out for me. If the thought is repeated or the emotion is repeated, like fearful reactions, or anxious reactions, or guilt or resentment, so everything that repeats becomes more and more energy efficient over time. It becomes automatic, and it becomes a part of who we are, part of our identity. And by building habits, brain actually frees up the space for doing more complex activities, creating new things, planning, decision making. So when you first learn to drive a car, then you needed to engage your prefrontal cortex and think of every single step that you do. But when it became more automatic and you became a driver, then while driving a car, you can do many other things. You can talk on the phone, talk to your children in the car, or planning your day or whatever. So this automatic action freed the space that you can do something, that you can place your energy on something that is more important to you. And once the habit is formed, you don't have to fight yourself anymore. It becomes automatic, and brain takes over this habit and do it on autopilot. And how long does it take to create a habit? You often can hear that it takes 21 days to some behavior, some action becomes a habit. But the research actually shows much wider range. So it's everything between 18 till 254 days that it takes to create habits with average about 66 days. And it depends actually on which habit are you forming, how often are you performing this habit. If you do something 10 times a day, then it takes obviously a shorter period of time. But if you do something like 2 times a week, so it takes longer time. So it depends on how often you repeat it. But the problem is that creating habits actually is not easy. Every time, you all know when you wanted to change something, to start a new habit, when you had New Year's resolution, losing weight, or start going to gym. So you start feeling some kind of inner resistance toward this activity. And why do we resist change? So this resistance that we feel depends on many factors. One of them, having been mentioned before, that it demands more energy. It's more energy craving when you are engaging in some new activity, and the brain wants to save energy to do things more efficiently. So you need to put more effort. It's something that you are learning, or if you are starting to do some new activity, but it's also, this resistance is based on something that's called limbic resistance. And limbic, it comes from this part of our central nervous system that is called limbic system. Part of this limbic system is structures like amygdala, hypothalamus, hippocampus, and they are central of our emotions, and they drive our automatic reactions. It's actually our survival centers in the brain that operate below your conscious awareness, and their main job is to keep you safe. So every time when you decide to do something new, it feels like, in limbic system, it feels like something that is unknown, unfamiliar, and uncomfortable, because it can be a potential threat. So your limbic system is actually trying to keep you safe, to protect you. So next time when you feel this emotional resistance, this limbic resistance or limbic friction, it's not the sign that something is wrong. It's not the sign that you lack motivation or willpower, but it's natural response there. Your limbic system is trying to protect you. But over time, when you repeat this action frequently, it becomes familiar, and it now forms a new neural connections. It's based on neuroplasticity. That neuroplasticity is ability of our brain to form these new connections between neurons, and that enables us to learn new things. And based on a neuroplasticity, you are able to learn new things, create new habits, and when you repeat this action many times, it becomes more and more familiar, and control transfers to the basal ganglia, then controls your automatic behaviors, your routines, and your habits. So when you have this new idea that you want to change something in your life, it's formed in your conscious mind, in your prefrontal cortex. And you know, we are under control of our conscious mind by only 5%, and 95% is under control of our subconscious mind. So when you have this new idea, this 5% is fighting this 95% of your operating systems, of your beliefs, of your self-image, of the picture, what you believe about yourself you are capable or not capable of doing. So this prefrontal cortex is not aligned with your limbic system, and when they are not aligned, you feel this and as this emotional resistance. When you become aware of it, it's going to be easier to overcome it when you can consciously explain to yourself what is actually happening. So it's easier to overcome this initial resistance. And when we talk about consciously creating habits, we need to know that habits are divided to these two major types of habits. You have goal-based habits and identity-based habits. The example of the goal-based habits is when you want to lose weight, you want to lose 10 kilograms by summer, and it's your New Year's resolution, and you start running 3 times a week, or you start going to gym 3-4 times a week to lose weight. So your goal is to lose weight, and the means are that you are starting going to gym, for example. But the problem with the goal-based habits is that you rely very much on your willpower, on your motivation, and in the beginning this motivation is high, but because you don't see the results immediately, your motivation fades with time, and it's often not sustainable. You are, after a few weeks or months, either you reach your goal and then you go back to your old habits, or if you don't see any progress, you just give up and go back to your old way of life, stop doing this thing that you are trying to do. In the goal-based habits, you are all the time relying on your prefrontal cortex, on your willpower, on your motivation, and you feel like there is something you must do to have this result that you want. But then we have identity-based habits, and that's the key in efficient and permanent habit creating. Identity-based habits are not driven by the result, by the goal that you want to achieve, but by the person you believe you are or the person you want to become. And what does it mean? All your current habits are actually the results of your identity, of your beliefs, how you see yourself, on your self-image, on your personal story. If you have beliefs like, thoughts like, I am not good enough, or I always give up in something that I start to do, or I'm just not athletic person, or I'm always tired, I'm just not a morning person, I don't have money, I don't have time. Your brain subconsciously look for behaviors that are going to support your current beliefs, your current identity. To create the behavior that you want to last, you need to change your identity. You need to change your story about who you are. And it's not about becoming somebody else, but it's about redefining what person you would like to be. And it's easiest if you set a goal for yourself to do something that you always wanted to do, some big goal that if everything was possible and there was no possibility of failure, something that you would like to do. And when you set this big goal, then you need to ask yourself, this person that has achieved that goal, what if you have achieved that goal, what do you think, how you feel, and how your day looks like, what actions do you take every day. So you are imagining yourself as this future person who has achieved this big goal, and imagining what kind of thoughts, what kind of emotions, and what kind of actions or habits does this person have. And by creating this in your head, you are creating a vision of a person who you want to become. You are defining the identity of the person that you would like to be. And of course, if you are just now person who after work sit down in your sofa, take a bag of chips and watching Netflix, you cannot immediately start saying to yourself, I'm an athlete who goes to gym, because your subconscious mind is going to resist that, and it's going to say this is bullshit, you are lying to yourself. So it doesn't work like that. Every day you need to prove with small actions that you are becoming this person that you want to be. So every small step every day is a step closer to this future you, and it's a vote for this new person you are becoming. The goal here is not intensity of the action, so you don't go to gym and train for 2 hours. Even a short walk, like 10 minutes walk after work, or walking home from your work, it's enough. The goal is not intensity, it's consistency and repetition. And this every small action that you take increases this sense of self-respect. Each time you follow through, you send a signal to your brain that you can trust yourself. And that trust builds confidence from inside out. It's this small step toward this person that you want to become. So you can, after these small actions that you repeat often, you can say to yourself, I'm proud of myself, I took this step, it's a step closer to this person that I'm becoming. I'm learning to take care of my body every day. I'm learning to become a healthy person. And the confidence and self-respect isn't created by these big achievements, but by these small things, what you do when nobody is watching and when you keep your own word. So when you repeatedly act in alignment with this new self-image, with this new identity, the brain starts creating new pathways, new connections, and with time this behavior becomes automatic. It becomes part of who you are, part of your identity, and then you don't need to put much effort, much conscious effort that you must do something, but it becomes natural to yourself because it is a part of who you are. That's why these I am statements are very important in identity-based habits. When you say, I am the person that takes care of my body, that eats healthy because I love myself, I want to look nice, I'm learning to take care of myself, I am on the way of becoming this confident person, this successful person, I feel peace inside, I feel proud of myself. So these identity traits makes you want to do good things, want to have good habits, and that's why it's not anymore like you must do something to reach the goal, but you become this person first, and then when you become this person, then the goal comes naturally. So when you start creating a new habit, you can start even with goal-based habits or identity-based habits, but it's important that eventually you switch from goal-based habits to identity-based habits, because it's going to give you permanent result. So the building habits that serve you is a practical and smart way of biohacking your mind, where you create automatic behaviors that serve you, that you can do more effortlessly, more efficiently. You increase your productivity. You are not anymore depending on your motivation or your willpower, because frankly, there is many days when you don't feel motivation, when you don't have willpower, but when you are creating the habit that is part of your identity, then it feels effortlessly to do it. And you also save energy to do some other things, think creatively, planning new things, improving your self-image, creating things that are important for yourself. You are freeing this energy to do these things. We have learned today what are habits, how they function, and how you create a permanent change, how you can create habits that serve you, that doesn't depend on your daily motivation or willpower, but becomes a part of your identity. So I hope this video serves you. Thank you so very much for watching, and see you next time.